One day they'll be calling you right now. Which movie should we go see today? Little Mermaid, Spider-Man for the 18th billion time, Transformers for the 5 millionth time. No actors, just animation. No hard feelings. That's similar to this one. Yeah. Oh, let's go see Barbie. Let's go see. Oh, the Mask. That's what they were. They were nothing but mask. Let's sensationalize the Mask. Anybody who's anybody said that. Be first one up. Woo. Let's pick our seat. Select seats. Where should we go? Oh, I sit in the back row. Oh, let's see. Let's get an aisle row. Up here, do you want to? I think I'll go right there. F2. Oh, no, they're already taken. D2. So they have been buying tickets. No, that's a no good one. I don't want that one. Sit by yourself up in the back? Yeah, G9. Right up front. Have the real sensation. Blow your head off. B11? God, you'll get dizzy and throw up. E12? Yeah. My lucky number. Reserve your seat. Not a member yet? Nope. Hope to never be. Payment options. Alright. Insert credit card. Do not remove card. Please remove card. There we go. Let's go see the Mask movie. And if you don't believe that's what they were, is masks. You can't say that. I just did. So even, what's his name, that went after Oppenheimer so hard when he got, for 30 years, even he, the most pro-nuclear there was, he wanted to nuke him 3 times. He regretted it, said it was a giant mistake, said that the fighting was over. Hoover, the indiscretionally killing of women and children revolts my soul. Dorothy Day, true man. You're really a true man. I hope the news was sucked up in you. I mean, everybody who was anybody just went off on it. You know, Oppenheimer, you regret it. I talked to Frank Oppenheimer many times at Laura Monet's coffee shop. Her symposium was in Berkeley for all those years. All those guys regretted it. Every one. It should never happen. Let's sensationalize it. For I understand, they show no carnage. No, of course they don't show any footage. The United States government still hasn't shown the footage. How many were killed that day? Government freaking downplays that big time to this day, 77 years later. The Enola Gay, I'll be at that ceremony for the 50th anniversary. So this is important here, real important. I'm a mall walker, as you know. Had open heart surgery. Mall walkers versus contemporary fools. The United States has no, I've learned the United States populace has no concern with the truth. They don't want the truth. So John Stewart, our representative here in Utah, from the Senate floor last night, Congress and work, saying we need to get more pork for these SMRs. Deseret News breaks the moratorium after 4,520 days. It won't say the F word, says the F word. Way down in fine print towards the bottom. We need little less. And the Deseret News reports that Utah has already paid $100 million. No, that's not true. We've paid several times that, several $100 million to NuScale. And he's saying that it's all tied up because of red tape. No. They got approved. He legally got approved. Jose Reyes, the CEO of NuScale, his old partner that he worked with at Idaho National Lab, approved it. The NRC approved this thing a long time ago. There's no regulatory tie-up. The problem is there is no SMR. There's no such thing. They don't exist. Hello. You know, you keep going for your unicorn and your Easter Bunny to ride in on your unicorn and save the day. When it should just be also, these politicians, I work with them all the time. They're so pathetically ignorant. I mean, I talk to them all. I've talked to every politician in the state of Utah more than once, over and over and over. They're pathetically ignorant. Pathetically, these lobbyists work them over like a fiddle. So, God, and I'm going to have to redo this. We got music blaring from somewhere. Who knows? Bad music. I don't even know where it's coming from. It's all mixed in. They'll copyright it. So, anyway, I'll put it on Twitter. You know, you must. You know, the pro-nuclear. These people are madmen. They're psychopaths. You know, and let's grandstand. Yay, Oppenheimer. Yay, freaking Teller. Teller didn't remorse. He doubled, tripled down. You know, they nuked my father to death in that test site. Try to make a sequel out of me. That's why my heart blew up again for the second time. My perfectly good heart, born with a heart defect from my dad died in the prime of his life and being nuked, drafted, and rained in the live test site by these same monsters. And then I get AML leukemia, the same thing that killed him. Fight for my life for 12 years, open heart surgery twice. A perfectly good heart. I was born with a heart murmur. Where do you think that came from? And it blew up for the second time this year. So I'm a mile walker. So John Stewart saying that we need more because of regular. No, there's no word carry. There are no SMRs. Hello. These politicians are that ignorant. There are no SMRs. There's no such thing. There's no such thing as an SMR. There's no such thing. Hello. Every time they've ever tried them, they've blown up. We go all, they've been trying these SMRs for 80 years. Idaho National Lab, which I was just up there. I'm like, hey, somebody around here show me the unicorn? Could somebody around here show me? Could somebody find one for me? I'm still looking for one. You know, I know everybody. Blake, my buddy from here, owns the Atomic City, bought the whole city. No, he knows everybody up there. They took the floor construction sign down after I had a fit. You know, and so they're like, no, nobody can show you one. We can't find them. Cowabunga, dude. So we can't find them. We cannot find it. There is no SMRs. So show me one. There are none. In 1961 or 2, whenever it was, it blew up, right? And it blew up. So the SMR blew up. They blew up. And they killed people off the ceilings. How about Santa Susana in Los Angeles? What? That was all those years ago. The biggest nuclear disaster you never heard of, besides Fukushima. They covered that one up night. The frogs have been boiled in ice. I said all those years ago. They will wait till 10, 12, 13, 15 years later. And then after you're boiled in ice, it's too late. They'll mention. Deseret News doesn't mention the Fukushima word for 12 years. Now they say it in small print. Predicted by Kevin Blanch. You got me, baby, the nuclear physicist. Blanch, you got Einstein, the anti-nuclear. He was banned from the Manhattan Project. You do know that. The guy who invented nuclear, Joseph, in 1943, backed out when he found out the Germans didn't have it. They had spies behind enemy lines, and they reported back. Baby never born, mother never pregnant. They never had it. They weren't interested in it. Ask Stalin. When Stalin got to Berlin, they fought and they both raced to get to Berlin. Stalin got there first. There wasn't anything. They didn't have it. They knew that. Joseph said he won a Nobel Prize for being anti-bomb, anti-nuclear energy. Which came first, the chicken and egg? Every time they've tried him, that was years ago. What about on August 8th? Yeah, that day, that infamous week. 29. Why would they test them out the same week as this hallowed week? I'll be out there for my 50th year in a row. As I got presented a paper crane by Sudoku Folding 1,000 Cranes. Her very grand niece cried, come up to me. Don't you think that's a big story in Utah? 7th generation Utah. Where they know they reach out the olive branch, and she came right up to me. We want to present this to Kevin Blanch. Thank you for all your incredible work. Well, I'm fighting for my life with leukemia. You know, Sudoku's mother used to call it the atom bomb disease. Well, I have the atom bomb disease, as you know. And you're going to grandstand these people? They don't show any of the footage from when they're saying, well, I'll go see it. They're masked, the greatest mass in human history. I mean, they killed that day alone. And then the aftermath. Well, the aftermath, we're living it. I don't eat, sleep, drink with it. I sleep with it. So 8-8 on the White Sea in Russia, 2019. Putin sure has got it. The physicists are all lined up, just like these guys. Yay, we're going to watch it. This is going to be such an historic event. The SMR rocket. Oh, it blew up and killed them all. Look it up. You don't see that one on the news. How about the centrifuge canister blew up, sent everybody, raided everybody in Russia recently? I thought we were fighting a proxy. Went off to Afghanistan to kill the Taliban. Went off to Iraq to get a big old sack. Went on to Vietnam to kill the Viet Cong. How boogeyman, ISIS, invented ISIS. Make it rain Ukraine. I thought we were blocking them. We're going to cripple their economy, but not enriched uranium. What? Standing on the old Soviet state line, turning uranium-238 into 235. What's he talking about? Oh, it's nasty. It's filthy. Which came first, the chicken or the egg? The nuclear bomb, the PK that will end all wars. There'll be no more wars after we drop these bombs. Let's see. The United States immediately invades Korea. I like how we got a diplomatic crisis. Some kid who willingly ran into North Korea after he'd been in jail for slugging somebody in the face. And I want to say this too. Why are we not talking about Mark Fogel in Russia? You know, we got Brittany Griner now. Oh, what is Brittany Griner more important than Mark Fogel? Apparently so. Mark Fogel's a school teacher. He's in for the same charge. He's been in there for months and months and months and months. Well, many more months than Brittany was. How come we're not talking about him? Going to end all wars. Let's see. We invented North Korea. Then we went off to Vietnam to kill the Viet Cong. Went off to Afghanistan to get the Taliban. Went off to Iraq to get Dick Cheney. Friend. Nobody from Iraq did anything from you. Nobody from Vietnam did anything to you. Nobody from Korea did anything to you. Nobody in freaking Afghanistan did shit to you. They were Saudis that did 9/11. Well, and we just perpetual war. But this bomb, these two, Fat Man turned into an evil, Little Moe turned into one evil Fat Man. So they know they flew out of here. 50 years in a row I protested out there. Of course, no one shows up. I mean, this is one lonely-ass battle. That's okay. That's okay. Just keep fighting, Kevin. Keep fighting. So, this movie is nothing but, well, we'll find out. You know, I've read lots of reviews, but you know how that goes. We'll see. I understand it's visually spectacular. I'll bet it is. That'll be just enough. That'll be cool to see it. It's visually grand. I'm sure it is. I think Matt Damon plays Leslie Groves. He don't look anything like Leslie Groves. What's his name who plays Oppenheimer? I think looks a lot like him. Oppenheimer's wife is played, or the girlfriend. You know, I don't think they look much like her. But where's Edward Scumbag Teller? You know, who playing that dirtbag? You know, these were all dirtbags. For me, the only people that had a soul backed out. Joseph, who won real Nobel Prize, who invented the nuclear bomb, not Einstein didn't invent it. Joseph invented it. In 1943, he says, I'm out. We cannot drop this bomb. Hitler doesn't have to. They knew it. He backed out. Einstein was banned from the Manhattan Project in 1940. He went crazy. He was anti before they ever did it. And he did not write that letter. Leo, who's going to play Leo? Who plays Leo in this movie? You know, Leo wrote that fucking letter. He twisted Einstein for days and days. Einstein said for years and years, my biggest regret was ever signing that letter to FDR. They turned on the Manhattan Project and never turned it off. Kevin Blanch, the Post-Ignorance Project versus and John Stewart stands on the House floor and says, yeah, we got to quit regulation. We need this Easter Bunny here in Utah. And then Deseret News reports that we spent $100 million when we spent several times that. When the insiders of NewScale went public and they've been dumping stock all the last 2 months. You made them billionaires off a fairy tale. There are no. They got approval. I proved that the original funding was Kenwood Financial. Look it up. It was a Ponzi scheme from South America the guy's doing life in prison for. This is the sham that got shoved down Utah's throat. It's the greatest fraud in you. And he says we need to throw more pork at him. I won't your other sister. John Stewart is as ignorant. I talked to every one of my politicians, including Mike Lee. I mean, they're crimeless. They're clueless. Including freaking Mitt Romney. Including Governor Cox, rhymeless. Including Governor Herbert. You know, every one of my representative, Blake Moore. I talked to him. I might as well be talking Mandarin Chinese to him. Or Martian. He doesn't even know what I'm talking about. You know, neither does John Stewart, obviously. Babbling fool on the House floor. Says we need to, that regulations are not slowing this down. They were supposed to have 24 online in Utah by 2019. Then they said 12. Now they're saying 6 by 20. They don't have one. I just got back from up there. You know, I do all this dirty work for free. It's disturbing. It's disgusting. And their answer is to blackball me. So, What is this movie? We're going to sensationalize and grandstand mass. That's what they were. They should have never happened. They should have never happened. They were just, the fighting was over. That nightmare and we never did go after the emperor in China, or Russia, did we? Or, excuse me, Japan. Remember, Russia was ready to jump on Japan to take it again, like they got all Eastern Europe. Remember, they had been fighting each other for centuries, the Japanese and the Russians. Remember, Teddy Roosevelt won a real Nobel Prize for settling the fight between the two? They've been going at it forever. The Japanese imperial family, evil. Go ask somebody in China. Go ask somebody in Korea about how evil they are. They're still in power to this day. Yoko Ono's related to him for real. Look it up. And she's a dot artist. John Lennon blown away. What else do I have to say? JFK, the last anti-nuker. What the fuck? So I'll go see the movie. I'll report back, but come on, Deseret News. And of course, they're the world's foremost expert in the world on SMRs and Fukushima is Kevin Blanch, 7th generation Utah. My father nuked to death in Nevada, Taisei. My uncle Harold stood on Omaha Beach, D-Day, Battle of so famous. Look up Claude Blanch, the first shirt in Japan for all those years, the most decorated fucking fighter pilot post-World War II in the country. Look up his obituary. That's my family. That's who raised me. I'm 7th generation here. Abraham Hunsaker IV on the freaking other side. I mean, infamous, old school Utah lines. Yet they're going to blackball me. They won't even interview me. Yet they'll grandstand this bullshit because there's no resistance. I just told you, because they won't. What have they done to any resistance, any knowledge? They shadow ban us. They block us. They ignore us like we're doing there. Where am I supposed to go? Stay in the academia circle at Weber State? Yeah, right. Right, I could be the next Fawn McKay Brody or Wat Masaka. Who's that? I mean, this is a long history of blackballing people in this state who speak out. Utah Phillips singing Enola Gay, I've done that event out there for 50 straight years this year on August 6th. I'll do it again. The whole thing. I got to sit and tip at the chair when we redid the thing. When she presented the paper crane, we had a dinner. International media from all over the world there. She calls me right up, presented on the second one. They got to hold the other crane, but she presented me a recycled paper crane. Thank you, Kevin Blanch, for all your incredible work. She started to cry. Hugged me. International media from all over the world there. None from Utah. And we sent out letters to academia, to BYU, the University of Utah, to freaking Weber State, to Utah. So we sent them out. Jim did. We requested to all the media, including Deseret News. None of them showed up because I don't know what they've turned into, But their answer is to go after Kevin Blanch in a vicious way. While I'm in critical conditions, fighting for my life. I had open heart surgery for the second time this year. My valve. I kept telling people it wasn't working. It blew up. I had to harvest an artery. I got a pacemaker. The whole works. What a story. I went into the bone marrow transplant at 11/11/11. As Einstein would say, God, it was your place in time. Einstein. I believe it when Fermi died in La Jolla. Maybe it was when Leo died in La Jolla. My mother's the tennis player from La Jolla. I grew up with these monsters, back and forth from here. Born on 24th and Harrison and Ogden, Utah. Back and forth. Shut down the sun and now it frees. The greatest accomplishment, but grassroots activism never happens without Kevin Blanch's cancer. You can go in denial about all this SMR unicorn fairy tale. Freedom Eisenblatt on the 200th anniversary of Waterloo in Vienna, Austria. To Kevin Blanch, she requested the meeting. She was full of cancer, didn't tell anybody. Kevin? I never picked this. You never picked this. It picked us. Einstein. Either Fermi or Leo's wife. They both died in La Jolla. Doesn't Fermi look just like Bezos? Bezos was born at Los Alamos to a 14-year-old? Yep. His real last name, huh? Bezos. Bad pigs on Balco. Ted Cruz on chemo. I want to see his birth certificate. Ted Cruz was born in Canada. So, you've been played by these monsters. Why are you upset that he's dying, crying so much? He's not dead. He's just in another dimension. Boy, do I feel like I've been... Oh, cursed spite that I was ever born to spit this right. Yeah, I saw you dump some nuclear rue into my father's ear. For Hamlet and Cassandra, they got together. They had a baby. You know who Cassandra is in Greek mythology? That's my great-great-grandmother. Hamlet, that's my father. Hamlet and Cassandra, they got together 8 years ago today. I was at the castle in Helsingør, Denmark. Oh, curse despite that I was ever born, to set this right. Living the country and western version of Hamlet. Hamlet and Cassandra, they got together. They had a baby. And I see for miles and miles and miles. Kevin Blanch, deny my work. Go ahead. There are no SMRs, John Curtis. You've been sold a bill of goods by a bunch of lobbyists because there's no resistance. You got me, baby. And I'm blackballed, fighting for my life all the time. Mike Lee kicks me out Medicaid, $1.8 million. Live in abject poverty. Thank you, everybody, for supporting the historic work, but I'll fight on. I'll fight on. I'll fight on. For Kevin reached into the bag, and he swung the stone. And it struck the nuclear giant in the head. I got to finish this job. Oh, it's biblical on Balco, on chemo. For now, I become destroyers of the world. Fukushima! Fukushima! Don't say the F word. Fukushima! Both Oppenheimers were fierce anti-nuclears post the bomb, but they weren't before. They all were fierce anti-nuclears. They were all lived in horrible regret. All of them had nothing but remorse. Wish they would have never done it. Should have never happened. But they wanted to colonize the 51st state, Japan. They weren't about to let Stalin get it too. And he was ready to jump. The fighting was over. That nasty, nasty freaking. Have you seen Hackross Ridge? Oh, that one will make you cry. You know, the United States kept fighting uphill, refused to pivot. Japanese was indoctrinated by the imperialist family, had them fooled and had them tricked, and they paid the price. Mr. We could use another like Hoover again. Meathead, shut up, little girl, shut up, little girl. Meathead, meathead, little girl. Hoover. Never in the history of mankind has any nation, any people, any military indiscretionally mass killing of women and children till now. Oh, it revolts my soul. It's disgusting. Let's sensationalize them. Let's not show any of the carnage that went on in Japan. Of course not. Don't say the F word. Fukushima. Don't say the F word. Fukushima. Now, wasn't one of the B-29s named the Artiste? Yeah. Little boy, fat man, the Artiste. The B-29s in Wendover, Utah. What's he talking about? Let's go to Idaho National Lab. What's he talking about? Hopefully I'll be in Pacific Grove soon doing my typo work. Woo, we're halfway there. Living on a anti-nuclear prayer. Hold my hand. Kevin Blanch. We're going to make it, I swear. We're going to win this fight. The activist that wins. Stay in tune.